When you think about Airbnb, you think about a nice, legitimate company where everything is going to be dandy, everything is going to work out, right? Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute to just sit right there. I'll tell you how I got scammed through Airbnb because my Airbnb host turned out to be a fake account with a fake number and an illegitimate email. So let me just set the scene. For a long time, I knew that I didn't want to just finish my exams at Trent University in Peterborough and just fly off to the UK just like that. So I thought, Dwight, why don't we just stay in Toronto for like an extra 2 weeks? What a great idea, Dwight. Yeah, it will basically be like an extended holiday without worrying or stressing about anything. I know, right? We worked so hard this semester and our average is actually amazing. I know, right? So what better way to reward ourselves? So almost 2 months in advance of finishing all of my exams and all of my assessments, I literally spent days trying to find the perfect place that met all of the requirements so I could have that extended stay in Toronto. I wanted it to meet all of the requirements of being close to Union Station in downtown Toronto because I knew I'd be having my entire Trent University life in 2 suitcases and the bags that I'd carry on my person. So I wanted it to be as convenient for myself as possible, right? Smart. So after days of scrolling through the Airbnb app, checking websites of hotels in the area, going onto the Airbnb website too, I finally thought that I found the perfect place to stay that met all of the requirements with Charlotte, if that is your real name. Let me just say that it's more than likely that this person here is an innocent party in this whole mess that took place with this real person claiming to be Charlotte. Finding a place to stay in downtown Toronto for an entire 2 weeks through Airbnb or even through normal hotel sites isn't easy when you want to find the place that is perfect for you. But her place seemed to be appealing because, for instance, the bed seemed massive in comparison to other listings which were literally the same price and were only offering a single bed in the basement of some place, and I didn't want to stay there for an entire 2 weeks. That'd be so depressing. So it was appealing and I booked it, thinking I was way ahead of schedule because it was still 2 months before I even needed to get to the Airbnb. Now, at the time, I didn't think too much about the lack of reviews on the page because it said that Charlotte, this woman here, if that really is her, was new to the Airbnb site as a host. She had just joined in January and I was booking in February, so I was just thinking maybe that's why it is cheaper, because she's new to the entire experience of being a host. And also that's probably an explanation as to why there were no reviews. I may have been the first one to stay in what seemed to be an appealing place to stay. I also sent the typical guest message saying, hey, I'm looking forward to staying at your place, thank you for making it available to me, or something along those lines. To which I got this response. Like, in the moment, I didn't think too much about all of the accents over some of the words because I was thinking, I've been to Toronto before. From what I've experienced, Toronto is a very multicultural and diverse place. It even probably is on par with London in how diverse it is, so I can't judge someone based on their spelling and grammar or based on their use of accents and words before I've even met them when I'm trying to even stay at their home, right? So I just thought, okay, it is what it is. Moving on, I've booked a place, right? I'm way ahead of schedule. So that was that. One less thing for me to try and worry about when I was literally trying to just focus entirely on my assessments and my exams. Fast forward. It's 2 days now before I'm due to check into my Airbnb that I booked 2 months in advance because I'm on schedule. But Bree, who also featured in the Junkanoo Carnival dance group and has been one of my closest supporters and friends out here, offered to come with me all the way to Toronto from Peterborough, help me carry my luggage and make sure that I settle into my Airbnb well. So I thought, why don't we just turn this into a major trip? Why not invite John and Micah too, who also featured in the dance group. It was making sense. We were going to turn this into a little day/night/day trip and have as much fun as we can out here in Toronto because I don't know where I'm going to see some of my closest friends that I've made out here again, right? trying to be smart again. So I sent the message asking if Bree could stay over for the night because we will be arriving late. I was so busy that I didn't even realize that I didn't get a response. As we were all traveling down to Toronto, I remember thinking, if my parents were with me right now, what would they be telling me to do as an independent adult? Just call the woman, Charlotte, and make sure that everything is okay and tell her that I'm on my way. So that's what I attempted to do. Unfortunately, we were 10 minutes away from Union Station at this time. I called the number that was provided on the app.
Hello?
Hi there, it's Dwight. Is Charlotte there?
Charlotte? I think you've got the wrong number, mate. There's no Charlotte here.
Okay. I thought I dialed the number incorrectly on my phone, so I literally thought this time let me just press the call button through the Airbnb app and it will instantly call the number that's been given by the host. Hi Charlotte, it's Dwight. I'm just letting you know that I'm on the way to yours now.
Let me stop you right there, mate. Let me stop you right there. There's definitely no one here called Charlotte. I'm sorry, mate. You've got the wrong number.
Confusion. How can a man be picking up the phone and saying that Charlotte doesn't exist, or Charlotte doesn't live there, or he's never met a Charlotte before in his life? But luckily, John and Bree were both there with me because, you know, girls are intrinsically able to work for the FBI. So our investigation began. Bree called the number again, this time from her phone. And guess what happened? The same guy picked up the phone. This time I asked Bree to just ask the guy, listen, how many calls have you been getting recently about Airbnb stuff? Because at this time, of course, we were suspicious. And then he answered saying, oh, he's been having a lot of phone calls over the last few months. I don't know why he didn't tell us this the first time he called about Airbnb. So we went back onto the listing separately from my account as if we were guests looking for a place to stay. But it was at this point that we came across a review that had been written only 2 weeks before. Meaning that when I booked 2 months ago, I wasn't able to see this review. And here is what that review said.
It was at this moment he knew. He dubbed.
My heart literally sank. I couldn't believe that this had happened to me. And plus, I didn't even realize that you could get scammed like this through Airbnb. But I didn't have time to stress or panic. I was literally just in serious mode. Gotta get things done. We're stranded now. We are literally stranded now at Union Station. I have to put a plan in place to find accommodation now, spontaneously, on the night that I need the place to stay. So once we settled into the food court of Union Station and made that the base of our operations, I was literally straight onto the phone to Airbnb support. And whilst I am so grateful that they were able to assist me to find what has now become my best Airbnb experience with the most amazing hosts and an amazing place such as this in downtown Toronto, there are so many things that could have been improved with my experience on the phone alone with Airbnb. So if you're watching this, take down some notes. Firstly, I want to know how Airbnb, right, has had this review on their site for 2 whole weeks before I found it. As the person who's literally next in line to stay at the same place that the previous people have said is a fake listing with a fake host and that they've had a horrible experience. And Airbnb has failed to notify me that this has taken place. Secondly, when I did get through to Airbnb support, I want to know how, when I was speaking to the lady on the phone, I was explaining to her that it is clearly a fake listing with a fake host and that I can't get through and that I'm literally stranded in Union Station because I don't have a place to go to. I want to know how her response was, "Can't jump to conclusions about it being a fake host. In fact, we have to call them and give them half an hour so that they can have the opportunity to explain their side of the situation." I explained to the lady on the phone that it was a fake Airbnb host at 7 p.m. and that if she does try to call them, she's going to waste her time, so she may as well just assist me in finding an alternative place to stay. But she still wanted me to wait for half an hour. Eventually, I thought that I convinced her to just be like, okay, I accept that it is a fake host because I can see the comment now. Because she literally went onto the same listing and saw the comment. Now we can just move on to her helping me find a new place to stay, right? Tell me why she told me she's gonna call me back in a few minutes.
2 hours later.
After being frustrated for 2 further hours, it's now approaching 9 p.m. I haven't had a call back. I had to call Airbnb and find the same person. The third issue that I had once I finally passed that hurdle of calling them back was trying to look at the places that they were suggesting to me. Tell me why they were trying to make me stay in Markham when I initially wanted to stay in downtown Toronto. I had 2 massive suitcases, Bree and John, still with me, and I'm new to this whole area. As much as I like to claim that I'm from Toronto, yeah, I'm not, right? So I don't know this area well, but what I do know is that Markham is way far away from downtown Toronto, or even Toronto itself. So why is Airbnb trying to make me stay there? It's now approaching 10 p.m. as well, and they want me to try and navigate the public transport system or get an Uber all the way out there. And I'm gonna have to pay for this myself. So for those of you who aren't from Toronto and don't know this area well, let me try and put everything into perspective for you. Let's say you've tried to book an Airbnb in Birmingham city centre, and then they suggest that you go to an alternative location in Wolverhampton city centre. Let's imagine that you've tried to book a place in Chelsea in London, and then they come back and say that the only alternative location that they have found is in Watford. Let's say that you've tried to book a place to stay in Miami, right? And then they've come back and said, oh, they found a place for you to stay in the Bahamas. That's basically the equivalent of what has happened in this situation. So after calling them back and saying, no, listen, I've booked a place in downtown Toronto through your website and through your app, and through no fault of my own, it's turned out to be a scam. I was not having it. I literally had the mentality of, this is just another test. This is just further practice for when it comes to phone interviews, because we all know what happened in one of my previous interviews. But I was too caught up in my own world. And if you haven't seen that yet, you know what to do. It's still there on my channel. The last issue that I will mention is, well, it's not easy to find a place to stay in Toronto, in downtown Toronto, for 2 weeks on the day that you need to find the place to stay. But through no fault of my own, I've been bamboozled. In the time that it was taking the ladies on the phone to find me an alternative place to stay, I still went back onto the app, found a few suggestions, sent it to them, or they were still trying to send suggestions to me. But it turned out that one of the suggestions that I found was one that they also sent to me as well, that did meet all of the requirements that I wanted, which is here, by the way. Tell me why it took them 4 hours to find this place for me to stay, when I literally did it in about 10 minutes. When I just got so frustrated, I was just like, okay, let me send them a couple of places that I found. But naturally, like you could think, it was going to be a lot more expensive, because that's what happens when you're booking for 2 weeks in downtown Toronto on the day that you need the place. Only the most expensive ones will still be left. But that's when my negotiation skills came in clutch. This place I'm staying at was probably 40% more expensive than my initial booking. So tell me why. Bear in mind, none of this is literally my fault. Tell me why Airbnb was initially going to say, oh, you can just have an extra 10% off the initial funds that you spent. You want me to spend an extra however many $100 just because there's been an issue through your site? Because of the way that I was negotiating, they started plucking numbers out of thin air. So it started off with saying, oh, I can have an extra 10%. Then apparently I could get an extra $100. Then an extra $200. Then an extra, wait for it, $200 US. And then eventually $300. Like, I literally could go all night just waiting for them to pay for everything. But I was still with Bree and John, and I've got this whole protective mindset, especially of girls in my close circle. So I was just thinking, they're probably tired now. It's approaching 11 p.m. And at the same time, my parents are up at 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning, just trying to make sure that I'm okay. So if they weren't telling me, Dwight, just accept the final offer, I would have literally been able to get this place fully covered by Airbnb. So yeah, I finally booked this place. Bree and I arrived probably like midnight, which must have been such an inconvenience to my hosts here. But they've been so amazing over the last 2 weeks, like literally. Like if you watch to the end, you'll see the spontaneous level of, I don't even know how to describe it. they've just been so amazing to me. Like, just making sure that I settle in and that I have an amazing last 2 weeks out here in Canada. But yeah, that was a whole lot of stress that I had to deal with. But at least it's just another story that I can tell the grandkids, or at least I can just show them this video. But like I said, God turned this entire situation around. Went from stress level on 100 to happiness level on 100, because you know what? Just watch the rest of what's happened. All I'm going to say for now is get you some Airbnb hosts who give you free drinks, free pizza, and they just give you a tour of Eastern Toronto on bikes.